Parag Thakkar and Kush Bora in our studios. Wish you both a very, very happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali to all of you.
Yeah, and
all your viewers.
Thank you so much. And it looks like the Diwali ka Jashan has started well and truly.
Yeah, correct. So basically all results were also more or less, you can say, starting from ICICI Bank, Reliance, HDFC Bank. Most of the results were good. We had this fantastic news on RBL. So very nice to see that there is such a big appetite of foreign investors in Indian financial sector, and it should be, right, because India is the highest growth economy with strong leadership and political stability, and financials provide leveraged proxy to play that theme. So it is not very surprising for me. It should have happened 1 or 2 years ago, but at least now, and it seems they are happy with 26% voting right, even if they want 60% stake, which is also very good.
So they're okay for the current management to run it. So that's what you like,
and
as far as
26,000 crore in a bank whose market cap was just 15,000 crore a little while ago, and net worth is still 15,500 crores. So,
are you buying
so now
RBL?
it will go to 42,000 crore.
Are you buying RBL this morning if you
I have it.
Would you sell if you have it? What is the call on RBL?
I would like to sell it above 380, 390 levels, not before that.
Okay, so based on trajectory, based on valuation and expectation re-rating, when do you see that happening in your base case?
My base case is 6 months to 9 months. It should be 383 because as this deal gets closer, you know, it will take because it will have to take so many approvals, shareholders approval, RBI approval, all this. So by the time it happens, it should go to 380, 390 in my view. And as such, you have a downside protection at 280. There is open offer.
Kush, we yet to go to Kush because of...
Yeah, but no, just one thing here, right? And I think all the answers that have come in thus far exemplify that पहले 15% में भी problem था या 15% was the limit for an entity, that the governing body is okay for a 60% stake happening.
Voting right.
Yeah, right?
RBI is absolutely
stake,
pro-growth.
60% stake. Voting is separate, but 60% stake देने को तैयार है. That is a big deal, right? That is the big deal.
I agree with you because, you know, like Parag bhai, you said that it's good that there's so much appetite. I think appetite was there. But we had not opened the door.
Regulatory.
So,
and this time everything is combining.
But you know, Bain Manappuram kind of gave some inclination of that as well. So the financial, Samman Capital, exactly. SMBC, Yes Bank. So all of that. You know, I think this is a great cocktail of things that are happening.
Chalo, Kush is waiting with bated breath. Kush, Monday morning is when you've prepared your dialogue and come. So that is what we're used to.
But I am surprised. How have we not wished each other a very happy Diwali to begin with?
I started with
We started off that way.
No, us on the table.
Yes, we did.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Parag bhai, back to business.
Parag bhai wished in return. You missed out, Kush.
Chalo, done. So then let me join in.
You were thinking about stocks, exactly.
आप dialogue rehearse कर रहे थे, इसलिए आपने miss
नहीं, वो मैं करके आया था कल रात को. No, but let me begin. You know, very happy Diwali to you, Parag bhai, everyone behind the camera, and to all the viewers. You know, bright smiles, sweet investment ideas, and above all, a sparkling profit, right? So there is something that describes, you know, there's a saying that describes the market very perfectly for me right now, and it's in Hindi, which is, तेरा तू जाने, मुझे तो सब कमाल लगता है. Look at the kamal that's happening in the markets right now, right? Everything seems to have turned for the better, for the positive, for the markets. FIIs are buying in the cash segment. From what I heard Neeraj speak in the morning, the early results, the key metrics are at least starting to look positive, which is fantastic, right? From a technical standpoint, the momentum is very strong. If the team can bring up the last 13, 14 months data from where we made the high last time around, there was a falling trendline resistance which came at 25,500. So we're coming out of a long period of consolidation, almost 13 months, right? So this momentum could well persist. So that's the medium-term view for the market. If we do get this 200, 250 point kind of a gap up, I would hold my positions because then we could still build onto that and hit 26,000, maybe today itself, right? From a concern perspective, and very mild ones at that, the small and the mid-cap segments have underperformed. So the portfolios might not look all that great. And VIX has inched up as the markets have, but it still remains within those well-behaved levels. So very minor areas of concern, but time to look at the positives. From very near-term perspective, if I had a position in Nifty, Bank Nifty also for that matter, I would continue to hold. Now is the time to book profits, go and enjoy, the profits that you're making, at least on the index trades. And whenever you see that profit booking dip is when you go out and buy afresh.
What are the stocks?
A couple of them, and as you would expect, both of them on the buy side. Monday being, the weekly pick day. Today we've got Apollo Hospitals. Again, the stock's done very well, continues to impress. It's seeing that mild resistance around that 8,000 odd levels, but it's tested that level thrice. Friday we saw a good uptick on the back of good volumes. So yes, this time around this level could well be broken. So hold as a positional trade with levels of 8,300 and 8,700 as targets. 7,500 being your stop loss. And how could we miss out on banks, right? So today, one of the picks is from the banking segment, something we've discussed in the past, which is Indian Bank. 5 sessions of consolidation, but on the whole, ended at the high point of the day. This is the time where you buy for that next leg of up move. So 795, 810 are your targets, and 767 is where you place that stop loss.
Just to round out that conversation on banks, and I'm glad that you ended with it, because I want Parag Bhai to tell me, and he's done in the past, right? What is that table thumping buy in the banking space? You've done it for the cement space in the past, it's worked out well.
He's done it for banks
for
in
banks
the past.
as well, right? So I'm just wondering, this heading into somewhat 2082, table thumping buy from Parag Bhai.
So table thumping buy is a financial sector itself.
The whole thing?
The whole.
No, but even in industry,
so industry, you leave aside some stocks, but mostly I would say and if you give your investment horizon is say 18 months, then to ICICI, HDFC, Axis, everything, Federal, for example, Federal I don't have in the portfolio, but definitely there's a fundraise on 24th October, and if it comes down due to that, there's a good opportunity. They reported good numbers, 15 bips margin expansion. Even a small bank like DCB, they also reported QOQ NIM expansion, and actually there was a repo rate cut. So how these banks have managed?
But not so for HDFC Bank. As we are excited about HDFC Bank, do you think that the results are really up there?
See, the point is in HDFC Bank, the NIM compression was expected. Yes. It is 8 bips, which QOQ, which is okay. The good part is that QOQ, the loan book growth was 4.4%, YOY it was 9.9%, and from here on the growth trajectory starts. That is a key positive in HDFC Bank, and next year will be very good for HDFC Bank.
Also keep an eye out, viewers, for all that's happening in the NBFC side. We're talking about banks and banks, but the NBFC earnings thus far have looked very, very solid. Take Poonawalla, take Piramal. Fabulous
unfortunately
numbers.
is not tradable.
It's not traded,
right
unfortunately. Otherwise, I thought blockbuster numbers.
Superb numbers,
So
we have spoken about it earlier also.
Yeah, exactly. You were constructive there, I know. So we'll talk about these in detail as well. But the other thing, which is beyond banks and aiding sentiment today, could well be Reliance Industries numbers, right? Q2 numbers revealed a 32% drop in consolidated net profit. But Somit, who tracks this very closely, Johnson to tell us if it's a hit or a miss. Somit, good morning.
Good morning, Neeraj. Reliance numbers largely were pretty much in line with what the street was expecting. Yes, on a consolidated basis, there's a drop that we are seeing on the net profit number, but that is largely because in the first quarter there was one-off gains because they had sold their stake in Asian Paints, so that had resulted into one-off gains of close to 8,900 crore rupees. Now, absence of this in the second quarter has led to this sharper drop when it comes to net profit. Obviously, the net profit number was also impacted because of higher depreciation compared to what the street was estimating, but the drop was largely because of this absence of one-off gains that we had seen in the previous quarter. Now, if you look at the segment-wise performance, the retail segment, other than the retail segment, all other segments have reported pretty much in line set of numbers. Retail outperformance was largely on the back of store additions that we had seen, and also because of some pre-festive buying that we had seen in the second quarter of FY26. The O2C segment, which is the key contributing segment to the EBITDA number, that number has seen a growth, but that is again largely because first quarter was impacted by a maintenance shutdown and second quarter was not, and hence we are seeing this growth. But overall numbers were quite muted compared to what the street was anticipating. When it comes to the oil and gas exploration segment, again a muted set of numbers. This is largely because gas production was on the lower side, while prices are also on the lower side. The other segment EBITDA, that jumped because of high margin coming in from the JioStar business. Apart from that, the capital expenditure number, that jumped to a 10-quarter high at close to 40,000 crore rupees, and this also led to an increase in the company's net debt to close to 1.18 lakh crore from 1.17 lakh crore that we had seen in the previous quarter. Now, when it comes to the telecom arm, that is Reliance Jio, There, the numbers again were pretty much in line. The growth was largely led by higher ARPU, and that was because of the tariff hike that the company had taken 4 quarters back, and also the growth was led by the subscriber addition. Subscriber numbers stood at close to 50.6 crore. Now, this is the 4th consecutive quarter where we are seeing a solid subscriber addition, and this was largely led by the home broadband segment of Reliance Jio. So, both these factors led to a strong growth number for telecom arm also. But on the negative side, one thing that the street could take in negatively is that the management has hinted that there won't be any immediate tariff hike. They do not have any immediate tariff hike plan. Now, this is against the street expectation that there could be a tariff hike, given the fact that Jio IPO is slated to come in the first half of 2026. So that would not happen. So that could be taken negatively.
Okay, I think the street is largely though looking at it as positives, especially with what's happening with retail, and everything else is mostly in line.
17% YOY growth to a EBITDA number of 6,800 crore was the key positive.
Jio is a little muted.
Jio subscriber ads were good, 83 lakhs in a quarter, and ARPU at 211.4 was also good, decent.
But the commentary on the tariffs is a problem.
So commentary on tariffs. So I think I never expected Reliance to comment on tariff increase. And O2C was in line 15,000 crore EBITDA. Overall 45,800 crore, which is the EBITDA number, is above 15% YOY growth. For a large company like Reliance, the 15% growth is good. And I think if we see the EPS estimates also, for this year it is 61, it is going up to 86 in FY28. So it's a decent growth.
We've spent a good part of the morning talking about banks, and you'll hear from RBL management in just about a minute. But very quickly on the consumption boost, the kind of reports coming in on the Dhanteras shopping, because there were 2 days of Dhanteras shopping, have been phenomenal, and those numbers coming in are phenomenal. What is the play on the consumption story, Parag bhai?
So basically, see, you can play it through any. So Maruti is a clean play. 51,000 cars sold, which is up 20% YOY during the same period of Dhanteras. So Maruti is a very clean play, I would say direct play, pure GST beneficiary. Of course, then people might say LG Electronics is a clean play, another clean play. Havells might be another clean play. And of course, you can play it through financials, which are my favorites. And also, you can play it through Reliance. Now, Reliance Retail, for example, in my view, should be valued at 12 to 13 lakh crore. Today, Reliance market cap is 19 lakh crore. So I would say that retail is also a good way to play. And if you compare it with peers, DMart and Trent,
But very quick follow-up though, sorry. If you want to play retail, why through Reliance? Because it's not essentially a proven retail performer, right? They're coming out of the gaps. There are proven performers out there.
See, Q3 will be very good. Q2 already has been good in spite of the delayed purchases by people. And 6,700 crore EBITDA, which is 17% YOY growth. Plus, they are getting their mojo back in Jio Mart also, I think, whatever reports I am reading.
And in your opinion, it's relatively undervalued?
Yeah, it's relatively undervalued compared to other businesses.
But you saw
and it is making money, first of all.
So 30 seconds, you saw the Havells numbers as well. You spoke about Havells. Lloyd's was another underperformer, another quarter.
Yeah.
You're okay with that?
Yeah, that's okay, because see, it is in the past. So we should look, of course, right now I don't hold Havells in the portfolio, so I would refrain from commenting too much on it. But I would say that because the question was that who will benefit from GST cut, and that's why Havells came to my mind.
We have 20 seconds. Your top pick for this consumption boost, would an Eternal make it to it or a Maruti?
No, Eternal definitely makes it. But what I like more is Mahindra & Mahindra and Tata Consumer. These are the 2 stocks that are on my radar because of this boost.
Out of all of the stocks that we mentioned on the earnings front, and you've spoken about quite a few as well, but on the ones that you haven't spoken yet, something like a CRISIL maybe, it used to be a favorite, a steady state. What would you say about something like that?
So basically, I don't have it in my portfolio as of now because I would buy it when I see a big credit growth picking up, which I expect in the next year. And that's why I'm bullish on financials.
Sure.
So definitely a very good stock to consider. Yeah. In fact, thanks for giving me a good name. Good heads up.
That's what we're here for, to give you good names and good ideas coming in on a daily basis.
Yeah, most certainly. But I'm shifting the focus back to banks, sorry. And I just want to know if any of the sub 1 times price to book private banking names become a tactical trade to you and Kush both because of the RBL deal.
So basically, see, I completely agree with this logic. attractively priced banks.
Sir, इसमें मैं fundamental नहीं पूछ रहा हूँ, इसमें मैं tactical पूछ रहा हूँ.
So basically, I'll tell you from results perspective, from valuation perspective, DCB looks very good. Since you asked below one time book, it is 0.6 time book.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And NIM expansion of 3 bips QOQ, P of 5 to 6, price to over 0.6. It
And
is just
very good asset quality.
DCB, hats off, Parag Thakkar. Now the question is, Kush, yes, no, but still. So Kush was right that it has gained so much, it's had a pop-up. So now a trading play might be ruled out. So I'm not even bothering asking Kush.
Yeah, correct.
And therefore, I'm asking you, would you buy it at these levels, or if you had it, would you square or take some profits off?
No, so it is so cheap that you cannot sell.
Okay,
It
fine.
is so cheap. 5 PE, 0.6 time book, you cannot sell the stock. Although it has gone up 10% today, it might have gone up 20% today, but it is so cheap.
Okay.
And if you hear the call, the performance, like NIM has expanded, right? Credit cost is 31 bips.
Okay.
So nothing wrong and still cheap.
Nothing wrong and still cheap. Okay. Something that we're not doing off late is ask Kush Bora about what to do with the Nifty. Bhai, game Nifty mein ho raha hai, right? I mean, from sub 25,000 to 25,900. Is there more in store? Would you take a futures or an options position in the Nifty today, Kush Bora?
So I'm glad you brought this up, and I will take this moment right now to say something that I've not said in a very long time.
मैंने तो बोला ही था.
I told you so.
Oh God, and how does it feel saying it after a very long time?
Pure bliss.
What's the call now?
Pure bliss. So the reason I mentioned that on a serious note is because if you remember, we had this conversation that if Nifty opens up even 200 points higher, hold your positions with trailing stop losses, because we could see 26,000 perhaps today, perhaps in the coming days, right? So you want to hold. We opened about 120, 130 points higher, and then we've gained from there on as well. Now, the point is, do you go long from here on? The risk-reward ratio is not as favorable. So if you want to play the last, say about 100, 150 odd points on the Nifty, you could do so with a very small quantity, maybe through options, maybe through futures, but with a strict stop loss. I think the bulk of the trade, happened last week. Still, if you have a position, put a trailing stop loss, continue to hold. But I think now is the time to book profits, if not fully, partially, and then, and enjoy the gains and enjoy the spoils and go out and splurge.
At this point, Parag, do you see the pop that we're seeing today sort of making up for what has been happening? Or do you see this as a start of a more positive phase? Because we've been meandering for a while. I know we're getting excited seeing almost at 26,000, but we've seen this story and then we do tend to slide back.
So basically, my view is very simple, that in such a euphoric crisis, you have to book some profits. Because you don't know the future completely. Right now, market is pricing that tariff deal is also on the way, and everything is positive. Everything positive is getting priced in because of good results, because of the festive cheer, and because of course, the good communication exchange between us and US. So I would say that as a fund manager, what we have to prudently do is, when there is a euphoric rise, you don't have to actually sell at the top. You have to start selling from now gradually and raise your cash. So, for example, we are at 5% cash. I would like to, for example, if say Nifty goes to say 27,000, we will raise cash to 10-12% by then.
27. So the viewers, that's some
No,
time away.
I'm just saying.
It's an example, by the way, but yeah, Kush, you want to add?
Wasn't not the best day to bring that up, but Tamanna asked a very pertinent question, and Parag Bhai answered it absolutely spot on. In fact, while we're on the subject, remember, this is exactly what we've been speaking about for the last week or so, that the Nifty is up, portfolios are not. Now is the time to do that Diwali cleaning that we spoke of, right? So if there are any stocks in your portfolio which are not performing when the markets are close to all-time highs, you want to get rid of them.
Top sale. Top stock which should be out of your portfolio and in a cleanup right now.
Look at an IEX, hasn't done anything well. Bad news keeps following up. If you've got it in your portfolio, actually go short and make more money on it rather than hold on. So, those areas. In fact, FMCG selectively is a good bet, but on the whole might continue to consolidate. So I would suggest, if you have positions in the FMCG space, you consolidate towards, let's say, the likes of Tata Consumer and Britannia. Maybe stay within the same sector, but then consolidate and move around. But sitting on some cash is not a bad idea.
Okay, sitting on some cash. Parag Bhai, do you agree with that at all?
Yeah, so on the way up, we should raise cash. That's what I'm saying.
On the
Not
way.
necessarily today itself. I'm saying on the way up, gradually you can raise cash from here on. And not look to actually buy into euphoria unless something is very, very cheap.
Are we at euphoria right now? What you're saying today
Euphoria
is
means, see, I'll say that after such a big rally, you need to consolidate for a while, right?
Okay, so we'll see that. I mean, we're looking at that coffee bet, 26,000 by the end of the day. If not, do we hit it on the Mohra trading trade is also what we should see. Thank you so much, Parag bhai. Thank you so much, Kush, for joining in, and wish you both once again and your families a very happy Diwali from the
Wish
team
you
at
also and
NDTV
your
Profit.
viewers also a very, very happy Diwali.